when you see people joining your school, what have you seen being the main reason for people joining?
Ooh, that's a really difficult question because probably as many people over the we've been going for 25 years in March this year, and when we've been going for I think about no more than about 6 months. He and I sat down to try and work out what we could do better. Why were people coming? What could we do better? And it took about a minute and a half for us both to look at each other and go, that way madness lies. Why are they coming? I have no idea. We had 200 people, and sometimes not always the same 200 people turning up every Wednesday. We don't have that now. And there's a whole variety of reasons. Some people come because they want to meet new people. Some people come because they have an idea of what samba is, but because all these rhythms are, Danny was saying that you can find elements of samba dance in Zumba and various other different dances, and you find elements of Brazilian music, Brazilian rhythms in lots of other popular music as well, like for instance in disco, that you'll hear in the background this sound that goes ding ding dong donkey dong ding 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 dong donkey dong ticka dong ding ding. That's an agogo bell, and it's actually an ancient Brazilian rhythm. Right. But people have used it all over the place,
But it does look like when you kind of look at you guys perform, whether it's on the streets, on YouTube, whatever it may be. You portray this energy. You portray that it's always very positive. It's very energetic and just fun. And I think, at least from my perspective, that what really attracts me to at least try it out.
That's something that we haven't really mentioned, which is that it's like a transfer of energy, if you like. You've got the dancers making sense of the music, and the combination of what the visual of the dancers dancing to the music, the audience seeing it. And so it's all going that way, but it's also going the other way, where the audience is energized by what they're seeing and hearing, and that makes us play better and makes the dancers dance better. So you've got two different. How can I do this? Directions.
Rewind forward. yeah. It's the idea, I think, for the dance side is there's automatic positivity to what you smile, and hopefully people will smile. Everything's bright, and all this side of it is samba is built that way. Got a lot to do with the slavery, to trying to celebrate a way of actually celebrating their carnival.
Get away from the trials and tribulations exactly, of that lifestyle.
So every year, that's why in March, the Brazil, everybody gets involved in making costumes. Who's involved in that
parade,
side.
very often people will come and they'll dance in the middle of the dancers, or in the middle of the batteria, actually, just for a little bit. So we have to say, actually, do you think you could just dance over there?
And I think that's a really good point, because in today's world, you're sitting in the office all day, you've got all these stressful things coming at you, everything like that. And I feel like when you have such a creative outlet as samba, I think it really disconnects you from everything else, doesn't it?
That's I think that's a lot. That could be a lot of reasons why a lot of people come down. Not for everyone, but because for them it's like a way of chilling out for a bit and just having good fun, and also learning, and sort of like
it's still demanding, but in a different way, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And so obviously everyone have their own personal reasons why they like going to a samba school. Either to play or dance, and so it's
because people come from such a wide variety of different occupations.
It's not so. It's quite a weird question to ask them personally. So we never ask them why have you come. So what made you want to do samba? So it's like an interview for them. So they don't usually get that. They just come in, hopefully come in to enjoy themselves, really.
So how have you seen, especially in this country, samba change throughout all these years? Because I imagine, originating in Brazil, you kind of taking this on board in here and trying to kind of really raise awareness of it throughout 25 plus years. I imagine the landscape changed quite a bit. What was kind of the biggest changes have you noticed?
I think when I started the samba school, there were some people who we call them samba purists, who just wanted to do a particular style of samba from a particular samba school that came out of Brazil. There still are people, and we all respect and look to the origins of where it all comes from. But around the world, there's a lot more mixing of samba with other rhythms now. But having said that, the inspiration, you've got to go back to the source constantly, you know, because that's that way you keep the energy going, if you like. So in some ways it's changed because the style of a samba school, for instance, in the drumming, will come from the way that people adapt what they're learning to suit their own physicality, if you like, and then you get the style of a samba school. And the look of the samba school is to do with the designers that work with it. But I know that I've seen changes in technique of how things are played, for instance. But the fundamental underlying groove is still the same. You know, otherwise you couldn't call it samba. There was a point, for instance, in the 1970s, I think it was, and early 80s, when there's a tendency for all the samba schools to play faster and faster and faster and faster, till it got to the point where there's a rhythm called marsha, which we have the clues in the name is like a march, martial music, at about 150 beats per minute. And it was just too fast to dance to, so it all slowed down a little bit, not that much, down to about 120, 130.
Just manageable,
BPM, but manageable, because people got to be able to dance to
Yeah,
it. You know, so.
yeah. I mean, how I see the slow moving forward in England, only you talk about at the moment. What, from my experience, is to do with the influence of Brazilians coming over to teach samba to samba, mainly in London, started over there in London. That's where it started off, London School of Samba, etc. And their influence then to teach people who got into it, they start their own samba schools and all this sort of stuff. People come to the samba schools and have gone off in dance, have gone off doing their own thing, same with the drumming as well. And so it's expanded this way. People, sometimes people don't like the idea of someone going off to do their own thing because it's against their school. You have that politics. Some people push it like it as well. That's happened a lot. So it's constantly expanding in small ways. And some summer schools have been going to, I've just seen them grow and seen them grow in their own direction. That's the interesting thing. That it's good that the summer schools all sound the same. It's good that they have their own way.
Their individual style.
Yeah.
I mean, another lot of people that Danny works with, they're called global grooves.
Global grooves, yeah.
And they have giant puppets and they have their own fusions that they do, and they go quite in depth into some of the roots of the music, and they run various different courses, and we work with them sometimes. One of my favourite combinations is Samba and Bhangra, and there was a group called Sambhangra that was run by a friend of mine who was in the same, it was in a sense as well. Another one of my favourites, and I think I might have told you about this, they don't exist sadly now anymore. They were called Boom or Bust. And this was, they left basically because it was a bloke that was running the samba school, me. And they didn't like that. So they bought their own drums, went off somewhere, and they took a cast of their bodies naked from neck to waist, cast it in like plaster of Paris, painted it bright gold, and then wore a black body stocking underneath with a bright red cape. That was just so powerful when you had a troupe of 10, 15 women dressed like that coming down the street towards you. You saw everybody going, whoa! It sounded pretty good as well, actually. But they lasted a while, and then they had internal arguments, and it's all dissolved now. I was sad to see it go, actually. I really like what they did, even if it was done in protest still.
So for someone that wants to get into samba, whether it's playing or dancing, what would you say are kind of the key things that they should be aware of before they go in and try it out?
For me, first, if you're coming along to drum, invest in a good set of musicians' earplugs, because it is quite loud. And come with an open mind. It doesn't matter if you already can drum or not, because you can start from the very beginning. We have all people who are professional musicians, people who are absolute beginners, have always wanted to hit a drum and never got a chance, and all the levels of ability in between. And be prepared to actually put some time in to actually practice at home. That's always makes my life a lot easier, because if you got somebody that comes along and they learn quite quickly, and then the next time they come, they've forgotten half of it, and it doesn't come back to them like riding a bike. Then that's more difficult for the person that's leading the whole thing. But there's something in the nature of the samba that as soon as it starts, it kind of guides you as to where to go. And I think it's probably similar for the dance.
Yeah, I mean, people will come to Samba school not knowing whether it's just something you just go to and then you go home and that's it. But because there's a bigger aim is sometimes for some people, hopefully, to come out and perform with us as well. But sometimes for some people that's the motivation. But some other people it's more to do with just being part of the group, sort of thing. So you have these different things. So you want as many people, because the idea for Samba is to draw people in and be community bands, and so we're not trying to sort of restrict anyone, because people in wheelchairs can do drumming as well. There's nothing wrong with that. We've had people like that as well. I think
we've had some people.
Is it Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah.
And it shows it can be open to everyone without thinking. So we don't want people to think too much. It's more to do with coming and absorbing it and hopefully learning, and hopefully wanting to either play to a standard they want to perform or not perform, because the way the Samba schools run is very much like the options there, but it's still, if there's a feeling that you want to be out there as well.
If you have a particularly busy life and you can only dedicate a small amount of your time, that's fine as well. We have some people, for instance, who their lives are very busy, but they still want to be part of it. They learn a little bit of the drumming, they learn a little bit of the dancing. When it comes to actually making the costumes and making the floats, they dedicate like a couple of weeks of their time and help us make the costumes. And then they haven't got the time to actually parade with it, which to me seems very frustrating, but they're happy to do that, which is great, So people have lots of different reasons. And it like Danny said, the aim is to just have a community of people who are all interested in some way in Brazilian carnival arts. Mainly where we centre it around the southern samba, as well as samba reggae and maracatu and afoxé, which come from the north. But we also do some other rhythms. We do bumbo meu boi, we do congada, these are all carnival rhythms from different parts of Brazil, if you like.